this is an exciting day. This is the maiden voyage of Coffee with the Canons. Do you want to explain to folks what we were hoping to achieve with our time together?
So we both have decided that we wanted to take on some big projects this year. And we decided that we would document it through these little vlogs. And we're calling them Coffee with the Canons. And it's just a check-in with us every couple of weeks or so to see how we're progressing in our projects.
Well, something we know about the power of journaling is that when you take things that you're feeling and assign language to them, that there's something really transformative about that. And so a lot of folks might journal by handwriting something, or maybe you have an app on your phone. But this works for us as a couple. Jack is so great about audiovisual production spaces, and I, of course, like to journal and talk. And so we thought this would be a good marriage of those two worlds. The tracks are different. You know, Jack is wanting to explore veteran storytelling and how to achieve that through a documentary. I want to tell a story through book writing. And so even though the tracks are parallel, we thought it would be cool to see what would happen if we talked about them together, and also holding spaces of accountability.
Yeah, so, it is June 1st, and we're doing this first vlog. And June 1st means that we just recently hit May 21st. And this year, May 21st, was a couple of things. It was our middle son Christian's graduation. He graduated from high school. Super excited about that. But then it was also the 10-year anniversary of the passing of our son. And so these last 10 years have been a lot of different things. There's been a lot of craziness and a lot of, just trying to make sure we get through it, right? And so that's part of what we want to share through our individual projects, I think, is kind of just like what the journey of the last 10 years is and what lessons we've learned.
And really how it informs the future. So I think what makes us special in the ways that you and I communicate with each other is 10 years ago, this catastrophic event happened, and there was a part of us that were just surviving in the moment, especially you, trying not to drown. And then I think there was also this part of us, Jack calls it the arrogance of hoping, that we believe in love and happiness and joy, and that we deserve those things. And so I think there was always, sometimes it was unspoken, sometimes we spoke about it, where this thought of, well, what could future us look like, right? And I think we always believed that future us would be okay, that we would turn out okay.
Yeah.
But the truth of it was, no one could have predicted what that path was going to look like. We didn't know how we were going to get there. Turns out a lot of it was just the love that we have for each other, the love we have for our families, and the community support. And so I think that what makes us special too is that you and I are also exploring continuity of future self ideas, right? Which is that a lot of people talk about their stories from a past perspective, which is important, right? Lessons learned. I think what makes us a little bit different is we already know that there's a Jack and Jennie 10 years in the future. I'm excited to meet them. I'm excited to see, I don't know how they're going to achieve what they're going to achieve. But what we're doing in this space is this time we're going to document it because we know we're capable of it. We believe that we deserve hope and happiness. But this time we're going to take you on that journey with us, and you can see how that unfolds.
Yeah, so we're really interested in your input, any suggestions, ideas that you have. But mostly we're just sharing it with you because we want to make sure we do it, right? I've thrown down the gauntlet. I've got a form. I'll put it below in the description. Google form. You can sign up if you'd like to talk about your time in service. We're specifically for this documentary, we're looking at people who served during the global war on terror. So any time after post 9/11, and then up until just current, right? I think we can end probably around 2022. But yeah, so if you served during that period, I'm really interested in hearing your story. And I'd like to talk about it in my documentary. Still floating titles out there, it might change. But something that has popped out to me, one of them was, This Is Not a Draft. Another one is, Global War on Terror, Our Stories of Service. So yeah, if you got any suggestions for what the documentary should be called, I'm definitely open to it. And if you want to participate, I'm taking people in with Zoom meetings, or if you're in certain areas, we'll be traveling for the documentary. So either in New York, DC, Tempe, Arizona, California, near the Fort Carson, Colorado area, and in Chicago. So if you're in one of those locations and you'd like to be a part of this, we'll be filming up until about next July. So that would be July 2025. Love for you to participate, love for you to take a look at it, because I think one of the things that I'm really, really interested in talking about is just this positivity, right? Like, I feel like veteran stories often are about either tragedy or heroism. And, like, no, lots of great veterans, lots of awesome veterans. They have really great stories. There is plenty of those. But I don't want to paint it like there's just the superhero veteran and then just the super depressed PTSD veteran. Like, there's a whole spectrum of it, and there's a lot of people out there who are being successful. So I'd really like to talk to people who have success stories because I want to highlight those.
Focus and to give ourselves a little bit of credit, the ways that our stories intersected with each other, where we had child loss and post-war stress that we were dealing with. So we lost our son while Jack was deployed in an active military zone, active war zone. We had a counselor tell us we had a 110% chance of getting divorced, 110% chance. And we didn't. And so there's a part of us that recognizes we were probably also just lucky. And I think that there's a story for us to tell. And if it resonates with you, that's exciting for us. If it gives you some level of hope. And it also is a reminder to all of you that you all have a story to tell too. And so there's something special about you. And I think, again, what makes us different is this space of looking to the future with positivity, right? So we believe that hope is active, that it's an active thing that you practice, that it's not just a state of being. And so one of the ways that you practice hope is by talking about the things that work well. There's a concept called appreciative inquiry, where you really focus on wellness in spaces, because when you focus on things that work, it often opens your mind to potentiality of other things that could work. And so we understand that it's important. We have 10 years of therapy under our belts. So we understand about processing. And so we've done the work. And I think where we've ended, we talk about 10 years, right? Like, time is a human construct, but we need it sometimes to compartmentalize things. I think ultimately the lesson we learned is that you have to have space for love. Which is why I don't have a Google form, but I have the title of my book, which is The Space We Take. And the idea is that you have to make space for love, because it won't live otherwise. And so whatever that looks like for you, wherever you can find spaces of love, we invite you to share that with us, because that's what we want to share with you. So Jack talked a little bit about his timeline. I don't have entirely my timeline worked out, but I do have a title, which is something. And I have started some organizational pieces to where I want to talk about what I want to write about, how I want to write about it, and what my actual goal is going to be. And so I've done some preliminary work, actually stemming from some presentations I've done with the ASU PTVC community, where I talked a little bit about my experiences. Something I've learned over the last 10 years is that I spent a lot of time centering Jack, which I think was appropriate. And then I think this decade behind us has given me a chance to reframe what my experiences were through my lens. And so that's what I hope will come from the writing process, is I give myself, a call to action where I'm writing a little bit each day, building up a structure, a skeleton, so that I'm adding to it, and then checking back in with our community to make sure that I'm hitting the points I want to.
Yeah, so it should be fun. We won't do these every week, but as we've got stuff that we want to talk about, or as we're talking to our friends, we may have some guests on the show, just kind of talking about the different processes of what we're doing. But yeah, it's gonna be fun, and stay tuned.
I'm excited to work with you. I think you and I have fun chemistry together. He's the love of my life. He's my best friend. We figured out how to be thriving in life, and I hope that that's something that comes through, is that it's not just that we've been surviving, which we do. We also survive. But I think, again, we talk about that phrase that you've coined about the arrogance of assuming that we deserve love and hope. And that's, I think, how we've built our lives. We've tried to give our kids a good life. We've tried to have their space be filled with joy and happiness despite all the struggles. And I'm excited about that. I'm excited to work on this with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the things that really pulled us through everything, was just continuing to hold on to it, and for many years you were just holding my neck up out of water, but as we go through more things, and as we've kind of gone through it all, it's like, well, now we're up here and we're supporting each other. And, you know, I'm really proud of all the things you've been doing at work and all of the things you're doing with your speaking
And
engagements.
we want to pay it forward. So we can't always repay everybody that was so good to us. And there were many of you from all different parts of our lives, people from church, work, military community, our friends, extended family, extended friends. And we can't pay all of you back, but we want everybody to know those of you that stood alongside us in those moments of pain, you were also standing alongside of us in moments of bravery. And we hope to give that back to somebody else that could use it. And so that's our testament to each other, is that we want to stand up here and help others too. I think that's important.
Yeah. So we're excited to tell our story, but we're also excited to tell your story.
Yeah.
So make sure to reach out.
So smart.
Yeah. So we're going to have fun, but for now we're going to sign off.
All right. See you all later. Talk soon. Bye.
Thanks for watching Coffee with the Canons.
Bye. Where was our coffee? We had no coffee.
We drank it. That's what happened. We drank
We
it.
had it earlier. There will be coffee next time.
All good. All right.